And we should be live now. What is up, everybody? I see you guys. Night Terrors, what's up? Mr. 60, Myers 420. How you guys doing? How is everybody doing today? We got Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 257 predictions on it, and man, do I have a lot of predictions. Oh man. So in case you don't remember, there is a break this week, which is a shame, but I will still be uploading quite a lot of videos. A lot of videos, at the very least. But man, there's a lot to talk about, especially with Yuji's Awakening. Listen, I think I got it figured out. I think it was explained beforehand in chapter 49, and I'll actually be breaking that down right now. I genuinely think his Awakening's already been explained before. It's his second Awakening, the exact same one that he's got on at a different point. Owen, what's good? Mr. 60, RSL. I'm good, man. I hope you guys are good. This is the last day of Ramadan for me as well. Last day of fasting. Tomorrow's Eid, which is awesome. How are you guys doing as well? Let me know how you guys are doing. If everything's going well. I left a like. Please don't hit me with Black Flash. Well, I never said I would, but now I'm threatening everyone. If you don't leave a like, instant Black Flash coming your way. But I appreciate if you do. Got the Yuji fan art in the thumbnail as well by Wild Matt. This is the one I commissioned for him. No, I commissioned him for a long time ago. This is when that chapter came out. So, which chapter was this? When Yuji hits Sukuna's Soul Punch. Loud Gaming, good to see you. Good to see you guys. Alright, we got some people coming through. I mean, listen. I do believe that Yuji's going to push Sukuna pretty far. Again, I'll make a full video. I've already actually made the video and it's already uploaded. It'll be public tomorrow. On why I think Yuji's going to... I'm not going to lie, I think he's going to get his ass beaten badly. And I mean in the long term. I think in the short term, alright, you can quote me on this. I think in the short term, Yuji's going to dominate Sukuna, but in the long term, I think he's going to die. Like, I'll straight up be honest, I genuinely think Yuji is going to die to Sukuna pretty soon. I'd give it within the next 5 chapters. Okay, maybe not that. Maybe okay, that's crazy. Don't call me on that. I'd give it like 20. I think he'll die within those. Maybe sooner, but who knows? Again, this is like a huge... I'm really throwing it out there. I could be really wrong on this, or at least he'll be close to death, I think. Alright, maybe not fully die. Hopefully fully dies, for the sake of my theory, but I think he's gonna resurrect though. Alright? But I do think though, like, don't get me wrong, I do think Yuji is gonna whoop Sukuna's ass for quite a while. I actually think he's gonna give him a proper beating, at least for a chapter or 2 of his Awakening, until Sukuna finally goes all out. I think Yuji will be the one to push him to go all out, and when we get to see Sukuna go all out, it might be GG from there. That one guy, Lamau. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, was your name before just a bunch of black text, or like just blanks? Like blank text or blanks? Is that what it was before? I think, because I'm recognizing your profile picture, but I think you changed your name. Just finished the translation. It's not a slander video. It is frustration and, I would say, criticism of the translation video, not slander. But thanks. I'm glad you liked it. A lot of people like that video. I'm surprised. It's one of those cases where I really don't know if a video is going to do well. Like, the translation one is way out of what I normally do, because normally I'm talking about chapter or theories. The translation one's more of a discussion. So here I was when I upload it, worried if the video would do very badly. I was like, maybe it could do well, but best case it's just doing average. And a lot of people seem to like it. Like, a lot of people I guess felt the frustration, and surprisingly, judging by the comments, hey, what's good, China Doll? Good to see you. Good to see everyone coming in. Tashimo, Luca, Adam, China Doll, Dino Gamer. Good to see everyone coming through. But yeah, I guess like there was a lot of people who watched the video. If you go to the comments of that video, who weren't even aware of all the egregious translation errors. So I'm glad at least people got to find out about that, because it is surprising, and not surprising though. It's a shame, is what I should say. Like, how many people just read the officials and will never know about all the mistakes that are made, or all the errors that are made, or what's actually supposed to be said, or the quality of translations being that badly. And it's a shame that it's like that to begin with. The officials should be the best one, I mean, I'm not going to go into it now. Made a whole video on that. Maybe you guys have seen it, so my take on it. Reading Viz? Nah, couldn't be me. I mean, again, I'll read it. I will read it every time for the sake of getting as many translations as possible, and I will use it, like I will here in the video. I'll use those to actually show in videos and streams, simply because of copyright. Because it's better to use the official for copyright reasons. Which is, it is what it is. I gotta stick to it. As someone who's never read the official, I never knew it was that bad. Yeah, it is very bad. It's why, like, very often in my videos, pretty much all the time in my videos, you will actually see me. It depends. Sometimes I'll read the viz if it's worded fine, but a lot of the times you'll see me reading off a page of and I'll show the viz panel, but it's like I'm reading a different translation. That's because I'm always reading TCB for the sake of accuracy. It depends though, like, because I'll compare it with TCB, maybe back up the Kaisen. There's like another scanlation site as well, and viz. I'll compare those for when I'm like doing a video, and I'll see which one usually is the most accurate or which translation seems to be like the best, you know. But yeah, alright, oh by the way, Kaio, do you know apparently Sukuna lost to Kashimo to worry Kaisen and Jogo saved him? I mean, I wouldn't mind. Listen, if John Werry is saying Kashimo's alive, because he can say whatever he wants. I mean, John Werry is saying Gojo cuts spirit manipulation, he's saying Gojo can't do Black Flash, he's saying Shrine can do adaptation, so if he can write whatever he wants, I would genuinely appreciate if John Werry could just write Kashimo's alive. You know, if he could do that, God bless you, John Werry, if you do that. Alright, let me get right into this. So, pretty much the title of this video is, or stream I should say, Yuji's Awakening Full Breakdown. And I do believe, again, I'm going to explain in the stream, kind of like a, more like just discussion style video, but in tomorrow's video, I do go into a lot of depth, and I'm pretty much like a shorter version. I say it pretty quickly in like a well-formatted way, so, you know, you'll hear me say all this again in the stream in a better way in tomorrow's video, sorry, but I'll go over it in the stream right now. What happened? Oh, did the stream die? Uh-oh. Did it? Oh no, are we talking about... Yeah, I think it did, because the viewers just dropped by like a couple. Oh, wait a minute. I think we're back though, I think. Are we good? Okay, sorry guys, my internet, it is not the best in the world. My bad. His Wi-Fi went out? Yeah, if it did, just refresh the stream if it went out. Let me just type that in chat. Refresh if stream is still dead. Yeah, my Wi-Fi, UK Wi-Fi, man, it is what it is. You know, gotta deal with it. Sorry about that. I gotta somehow deal with this. But anyway, hopefully it doesn't happen again. What I was saying was, in case you didn't catch it, I'll be explaining this in more depth and pretty much like better quality in my next video, but I'll also break it down here, right now for the stream. Pretty much, I do believe, and I'll show this on screen right now. Let me go to OBS. Wallpaper engine. No, it's big monitor. Show the big monitor. I do believe that this is what you can see as well on my end. This is the OBS, at least on this monitor. Yeah. I do believe that we've already seen Yuji awaken again. And you know what? It's better if I just read this word for word so you can get the explanation here. So Yuji, in this moment, and the anime is like really good as well. The anime in this moment is awesome. I always use that clip of the anime. Oh god, I just remembered. The big Yuji's blocking it, isn't it? I kind of forgot about it. I just saw my right hand, I could see it. I was like, wait, Yuji's... Let me let Yuji just sit down for a moment. Go on the bench for a moment. Alright, back here again. So Yuji sees his cursed energy. This is after he hits a Black Flash. So in the previous chapter, he just hit a Black Flash, and this is the next page. It was a double page spread in chapter 48. And he looks at his cursed energy after hitting a Black Flash, and he's like, that was Black Flash? And he thinks, what? This is my cursed energy, right? Because he's so surprised by his own cursed energy, you can visually see it too. The anime does a really good job with this. He doesn't even think it's his own cursed energy. He can't recognize it. It's so strong, it's gotten so much stronger, and it's so much better. He's literally thinking, yeah, like, is this my cursed energy? Really? Right? And he's looking at it in amazement. And this is because, you know what? Actually, let me let Tojo, I can't say his name, Todo. I'm mixing it with Toji. Let me just have Todo explain this. You've gotten a oh, sorry, I should not paraphrase. You got to taste a sample of your cursed energy as he turns around while fighting. Haname is just listening, by the way. Haname got hit by the Black Flash and is just like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to this conversation. I'm not gonna interrupt him. Todo's let him cook. In this case, literally. Until now, it's like you've been putting ingredients you're not familiar with into a pot and cooking haphazardly. But with Black Flash, you've gained the ingredient that is cursed energy. As a chef, or in this case as a Jujutsu sorcerer, you're on a different level than you were just 3 seconds ago. Congratulations, Buddhaza. You will be strong. Now, what is going on here, alright? So, again, at first glance, you may think, just because he's seeing a Black Flash, why is this the same power-up? But the explanation... let me explain. Alright, this is going to take a bit to explain. And, good to see people come back in here. Kaio, I genuinely think Unlimited Void can target Toji since... Wait, making it since it target everything in the Clash Megami Soul. No, I mean, you could argue that it could target heavily restricted users, but... it's just never been said that it can target inanimate objects, because usually curse techniques target anything with cursed energy, and unless it's stated otherwise, like with Sukuna's domain expansion, that's basically the assumption we should always go with. Anything that's got cursed energy gets targeted, and Megami Soul would have cursed energy, thus that would get targeted. I think that's the explanation I go with, but you could argue vice versa. Maybe Hanami was trying to learn how to hit a black flash, maybe. Okay, let me explain what's going on here, okay? Yuji, as Toto just said, after hitting a black flash, first of all, Yuji even says, like, this isn't even my, I'm so much stronger, is basically what he's, like, thinking. Like, is this even my cursed energy? It's so much better now. He can't even recognize his own cursed energy. And Toto says, you are on a different level than you were just 3 seconds ago, confirming what I just said before. But he says this is because after you've hit a black flash. Before hitting the black flash, he's always had the ingredient of cursed energy, but he's never been able to use it. In this case, he's saying you've gained the ingredient that is cursed energy. I'm wondering if this is like poor translation, or maybe just Toto's wording it not right, because Yuji's always had that ingredient of cursed energy, because he's basically contradicting himself here. He's saying the issue was, like, he's had the ingredients, but he's not been able to use them in the pot. Like, he's just been throwing them in and cooking them randomly. But after hitting a black flash, now he's actually able to use the ingredient properly. Like, as a chef, now he can utilize it. And this is why, usually when you hit your first black flash, you get a massive power-up, and you never get that same power-up after you've hit a black flash. Like, again, when you hit a black flash for the first time, huge power-up, but when you hit it for a second or third or fourth or fifth time, it's not like you're going to keep stacking power-ups and you'll become a special grade within 5 black flashes. No, what's actually going on is you kind of get a huge permanent buff after your first one, and then after that first one, let's say you hit another black flash in the future, you don't get that same buff because you've already got it as an ingredient, you already know how to use it. More so what's going to happen is you're just going to enter the zone and get a 120% buff. So that's why when Yuji hit it in Shibuya, it's not like he suddenly got exponentially stronger like he did against Haname. What basically happened is he just got that 120% buff, which you always get after hitting a black flash. So, but I do believe you still get some sort of like minor buff after you hit a black flash for like second or third or however many other time. I think it's a minor buff, but it will never, and it has never been as great as the first time. Like, what the buff that Yuji got after he hit his first black flash was tremendous. We've never seen him get a buff like this ever again. Like, it was ridiculous. Not even with the black flashes that came after it. But, and this is why I believe this was Yuji's awakening. And again, isn't it interesting how the narrator says, after hitting a black flash, like the sparks of black flash in the new chapter, Yuji awakened. It's basically what's happening here. Now you may question, but Kaio, aren't you like contradicting yourself? Because you just said after you've hit your black flash, you can't reawaken. Like, sure, you can get a 120% buff, maybe you can get a bit stronger, but why is it Yuji's getting a power-up or awakening from the black flash from the new chapter, but not in the other chapters? Why is that the case? I think it's because this is the first time Yuji's hit a black flash with the current ingredients that he's got on hand. What are these ingredients? Sukuna's cursed energy, which he's shrouded in, and he's got so much of Sukuna's cursed energy that he's even said by Shoko that he's like a Sukuna cursed thing, he's like a Sukuna cursed object, and blood manipulation. These are 2 ingredients we know he doesn't know how to use. And there's evidence for both of these reasons. I'll get into both of them now. The first one being, does this not sound like blood manipulation right now? Does it not sound exactly like that? Forget cursed energy and remove cursed energy in this context and replace it with blood manipulation. Until now, you've been putting ingredients, which is blood manipulation, you're not familiar with, into a pot and cooking haphazardly. This is Yuji right now. He can't even use convergence. He can't build it up. He needs Choso to build it up and give it to him so he can fire off a piercing blood. Or, in other cases, let's say when Yuji like made the blood explode on Sukuna's face, it was something that was haphazard, like, you know, it was a half-cooked blood manipulation explosion. He's not nearly as good as Kamo or Choso in this case in terms of skill. He can't use it as well as them. But after hitting a black flash, you know, in this case it will be blood manipulation instead of cursed energy, he's gained the ingredient that is blood manipulation, or a better way to explain it is he can now actually use it in a cooking sense. And in just 3 seconds, after hitting a black flash, Yuji was on a completely different level, just in terms of the cursed energy, because in this case it was his cursed energy that got buffed, that he can't even recognize his own cursed energy. That is what should happen, at least what I'm thinking, is what should happen after he, with his blood manipulation. His blood manipulation, which was an ingredient he didn't know how to use before, or at least didn't have, you know, however you want to go with it, should be on a completely different level after hitting a black flash. That's what I think the awakening means. And this goes double for Sukuna's cursed energy, which Yuji has. We saw when Gojo hit a hollow purple, he even said, like, because it's my own technique and I'm trying to my own cursed energy, it actually didn't do that much damage against me, compared to how much it should have done. However, it seems like Yuji doesn't have that, because everyone theorized Yuji, now that he's got Sukuna's cursed energy, he would have that protection against Sukuna, but it doesn't seem like he has that protection. It seems like he's actually just tanking it with his stronger reinforcement. I do believe that after Yuji awakens and he learns, again, now forget blood manipulation, forget cursed energy. No, actually, in this context, it's perfect. Todo here is talking about cursed energy, right? Look, like in this case, the ingredient is cursed energy. He's learning how to use it. Like the ingredient that is cursed energy, and now you can use it better. Switch it out for just cursed energy, for Sukuna's cursed energy now. Because again, this is, as far as we know, because we don't know what was going on in the time skip, this is the first time Yuji has hit a Black Flash while having blood manipulation as an ingredient and while having Sukuna's cursed energy as an ingredient. Before he's hit it in all the other times, he never had those as ingredients, so he wouldn't learn how to use them in terms of a cooking sense and cook them properly, or at least as a sorcerer. He wouldn't be on a different level. But after he's hit the Black Flash, he should be able to use them properly. He should be on a completely different level, both for blood manipulation and for Sukuna's cursed energy, which means maybe he would have, like I was saying before, more resistance to Sukuna's cursed techniques, beside the Whirling Slash, because that bypasses all durability and all that stuff. But at least for Sukuna's punches and regular slashes, Yuji should have durability, higher defense. Maybe that's less likely, but what's probably more likely, which is crazy to say, is maybe he'll actually get Sukuna's cursed technique and also his flames, because now he knows how to use them. I mean, he has his cursed energy. Maybe he'll actually figure out how to. And again, Gojo did say, whoa. Let me check that. Oh, that's what it was. By this is how I always see you subscribe. How do you say this? Kodoi? Kodoi, thank you very much for subscribing. I'll move this to this side of the monitor, by the way. Over here. But I'm like, what do you guys think about that explanation, by the way? This is kind of what I think is going to happen. I do think it's possible that we may not get it right away, but the fact that Todo says 3 seconds, and we see Yuji gets an instant buff within seconds after hitting the Black Flash, his awakening after a Black Flash, Todo says, 3 seconds ago you're on a different level, and it's literally what just happened in the new chapter. New ingredients, hit a Black Flash for the first time with those ingredients. I think, and again, that's why I think, if it's this, by the way, it's God tier writing. It is, if this is the explanation JJK goes with, because this was something that was said in chapter 49. What we're basically getting with Yuji isn't a new power-up. I mean, it is going to be a new power-up, but the explanation was given already, years ago. It was explained years ago. And as a writer, that would be phenomenal. If this is what JJK is going with, and that's what he means by the Black Flash awakened his potential, or Yuji awakened due to the Black Flash, that is beautiful writing. It's such a great callback to this moment. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm the one who's going crazy and looking too deep into it. But again, it is so perfectly aligned with him hitting a Black Flash, him awakening. You know what I mean? But yeah. I get that, but I don't think Black Flash amps you by 100. So yeah, no. It takes you. I'm not saying it's permanent, by the way. Maybe you're misunderstanding. I'm saying at least temporarily, it buffs you to 120% of your potential, because Gojo hits a Black Flash. He looks terrifying. Even Sukuna's now afraid of him, and it was that way. Let me actually get the chapter. So, which chapter was it that? Wait, I'm guessing it's 130. No, maybe 131. No, 130. Maybe 130. I'll get the chapter here. When they all hit a Black Flash, and the narrator says, "I'll show you when it was said." Nope, it was before that. So, but first of all, hitting a Black Flash does temporarily make you. It was actually said here as well. So let me show you here, but I'll show you the 120% part as well. Here, interesting. Mahito is only able to do this two-step process, which normally you have to do one by one, because he was awakened through a Black Flash. Awakened, just like Yuji, who would awaken. I'm just saying, man. It's there, and it's been said by a narrator. I wish I included that video now. That it awakens your potential. We've seen it happen to Yuji, and oh man, there we go. Even more evidence gotten by mistake. Let me show the 120% part. Shout Miwa as well. That's the GOAT for real, for real. Let me actually just hide it for a moment, just for the sake of copyright. I don't want to show too many panels. I'll put a big Yuji to kind of make it harder to see. Let's see. Toto hits a black flash. Here we go. This is what I wanted to show. Alright, actually, I can't see it. Let me make it full screen and hide Yuji again. So, yeah, but so after he hits a black flash, it doesn't exactly say thingy, but it's pretty much implying, it's pretty much like almost directly implying, I should say indirectly, it's indirectly implying, hits a black flash. They've all hit a black flash because that's what all three of them did, but now all three have brought out 120% of their potential, which again makes sense with what we know of a black flash. We know, like, we've seen characters when they've hit a black flash tend to get much stronger, much more powerful, and this kind of goes in line with what we just saw. So that's usually, unless, like, why else would they go to 120% of their potential after Toto hits a black flash? It's only after it shows that it includes Toto there, and we know all three characters have hit one, and we know, like, with a black flash, you enter the zone, you're hyper-focused, with what we've seen with Nobita, Nanami, Yuji, Gojo, and Sukuna. We literally are seeing Sukuna get stronger, like his output is increasing as he's entering the zone. Yeah, it's 100%, like, this is, a black flash brought them out to 100% of their potential. I don't think it's permanent, I just think it's after they've hit the black flash, during the fight and in the moment. I don't know how long the buff lasts, we don't really know. Actually, no, we do know. Because the buff for Yuji lasted all the way until the very end of the fight. So, you know, that's kind of what I think. So what stack then? What stack? Unless you were talking to someone else. I think the first black flash gives 120% buff, and that would make sense though. Oh, unless you're saying... Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying if you hit consecutive black flashes. If you're talking about that, then I agree. I don't think hitting more black flashes takes you more than 120%. I think it's kind of capped out 120%. I don't confirm, that's just what I'm assuming. That's what I think. We don't actually know. Like, maybe it takes you to 150%, but maybe it does cap out 120%. I thought you were talking about something else completely different. I don't know. I never actually considered, like, if it would stack... How would you power scale that? Like, hitting one black flash brings you to 120%. Like, does hitting another give you another 20%? Maybe it's only 5%? Or maybe, like, as the fight starts to die down, your potential goes back to 100. But if you hit another black flash, then you just reset back to 120%. Maybe. Like, there's so many possibilities here. I think the safest thing to assume is just stick to 120% because it was never said that hitting more than 100 it would boost your power. And it's not implied either. There's two things. It not being said is one thing, but it never being implied, even indirectly, is another thing as well. So, who knows? Actually, who knows in that case? I'm going to stick to 120% explanation. Alright, let me put the thingy, which is Yuji, and big monitor, where is that? So I can show you Ryoma and Sukuna in the background. Oh, that's, yeah, Yuji and Sukuna's body. There we go. But yeah, that's kind of what I think it means by Yuji's awakening, and I hope that fully breaks down that part of it. But now, the more crazy part of this video. I guess it's stream. I don't know why I treat it like a video. Sukuna awakening. Alright, what the hell is going to happen? Not Sukuna awakening. I mean, you could argue it's going to be some sort of an awakening for Sukuna when he actually uses his full power. You know, you could argue it's going to be that case, but when Sukuna uses full power, I do think it's going to be Yuji who pushes him that far. Nobody. I mean, okay. Nobody says, I'm not saying nobody says, the name is actually Nobody. Nobody, which is the name, says, first time catching you live, awesome. Good to see you. Hope you're enjoying the stream. That's pretty cool. Good to see you, man. I think in the moment you need to get 120%, then you get deeper understanding for each. I mean, maybe you could argue like a lot of things. Like it's never been said for or against it, so you know. Yeah, there's a lot of things here. Sukuna awakening. Okay, maybe I'm wording it poorly, but what I mean by his awakening is he's just going to use the full power that he already has. I see that smiley face as well, Nobody. I see that. Like again, the flames. That's like the best case scenario if he just has flames. For all we know, he says open. He pulls out a plethora, a slew of curse techniques from his black box. I mean, imagine. Okay, it could be a storage curse technique. And he's storing curse techniques in there. Maybe it's more so an access curse technique where he's accessing techniques from the cursed realm. Damn. Is it me or did that like just destroy my ears? Was it loud for you guys as well? That was pretty loud. Thank you for subscribing, Alpha. I think the name was just Alpha. Thank you very much. But yeah, that is like the best case if he just has the flames. If it's like a creation curse technique like Alonzi and Quirkless theorized, like maybe he's crafting curse technique. That was loud as hell. It was loud for me as well. I wonder why. just like blasted my ears to oblivion. But yeah, maybe he can. If he can craft curse, it's over. I hope it's not that, because that's just too OP, man. It would be. I think that's the coolest out of all of them. The crafting, it's way cooler than simply a storage. Storage is the most boring answer, but would be the safest, because then there'd be maybe a limit to how many you can store. I think it's a storage, yeah, because like again, in case some of you aren't aware, Gege's previous manga, called Number 9, like Number 9 is the actual name of the manga. The main character has the exact same technique as Sukuna. Like, he's like in the Japanese, he's saying the same words as Sukuna, like open, and what his technique does is open up a storage of weapons, which is pretty funny, because Sukuna, when he says open, he pulls out a fire arrow, you know, but like a storage technique, kind of the same thing. Damn, loud gaming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Best of Furendo. My guy, a pre-10 gifted memberships. That is awesome. Alright, Yuji's about to go crazy. I should probably mute Yuji for a bit. Here we go. Just okay, I'll let her play a couple more best of Furendos. But
thank you so much. Best of Furendo.
There we go. Alright, I'll not destroy everyone's ears. Much appreciated. Damn, Loud Gaming. If anyone got a gifted membership from Loud Gaming, do be sure to, you know, thank them. Thank them as your best friend, as your best friendo. That's much appreciated. Appreciate supporting the channel. As always, man, that's awesome. And again, you know what's, again, I always say this, I love it when people who are active in the stream, or at least who I always see, get the memberships. Like that's the best part. Like Shabam, Yuta, Ogotsu, I always see you, Cheesy Bread, DeBron. You know, I think I actually see you tweet as well. LeBron James, I think he's quite often, like Night Terrors, like everyone. You know, Chavez. You know, I hope you guys like the memberships, and again, much appreciate Loud Game. Be sure to thank him if you got one. That's awesome. But yeah, no, that's sick, man. Much appreciated. All right, what was I saying before? I kind of right. In his previous manga Number 9, I see Shabam giving spamming the Yuta and Yuki emotes. I see that. Thank you, Loud Gaming. Shout out Loud Gaming, man. That's a massive W. Massive W. But, right. What I was saying was, alright, I remember. I forgot about for a moment. If it is a storage curse technique, I mean, this is a bit tough. Even with Yuta's copy, he can only have up to 4 curse techniques, just like Kenjaku. I mean, even Kenjaku with no curse technique, you can only have 4 curse techniques on the brain, because we know from what Yuki said, and I can actually bring this up for you guys. Wait a moment. I'll add the image, because Yuki actually, this is like a big, I don't know how to thingy this. People think you can only, I don't know why, you can only have 1 curse technique on your brain. You can have 4. You can have 4 curse techniques on your brain before it becomes too much. Yuta has 2. Sukuna had 2. I mean, maybe he has more than 2, we don't know. And Kenjaku had 3. Let me get the exact Yuki page, give me a sec. Chapter, I'm gonna guess 204 is what I'm gonna guess. No, I was wrong, but I was off by 1 chapter. It's 205. Alright, and I'll show on the screen as well. Because, let me go over here. If I could have 1 curse technique, what would it be? Mahito's curse technique. Easily. Like, it's not even a question, Mahito's curse technique. Alright, let me show this here. Move the monitor on that side. And where is the chat? Where are you guys? Here we go. I thought it was up to 3. Let me, you know what, at least, close. Let me show you. Let's open the panel. It's because you, like, maybe the wording in the Viz is not, again, Viz, it's not that bad, it's just worded a bit oddly. So that's why you might, like, I don't blame you thinking 3. I don't blame you for that. Here we go. Alright, let me show here. Let me make it bigger, full screen, and zoom in. Alright, let's go break it down here. Gravity. That was gravity. Kenjaku has curse techniques. Again, Kenjaku isn't someone like Yuta with external storage or a curse technique that lets him store. He's just like a normal guy. And let me continue. Kenjaku has curse techniques, so with an S, aside from curse spirit manipulation, so 1, and techniques that allow him to transfer bodies, 2. So, you know, the second, like, transferring bodies is a curse technique of its own, which is how he can, like, become a brain and all that. That's a curse technique. Like that gravity curse technique. So there we go, 3. He isn't using ideal transfiguration, which I figured out, so you can only use a curse technique extractive Uzumaki once. So what this means is at some point, when he actually extracted the Uzumaki, he had 4 curse techniques on his body. At one point, Kenjaku had 4 curse techniques, because when you extract a curse technique with ideal transfiguration, even though you're only using it once, it's still on your brain as a curse technique. It's not like the Uzumaki or curse spirit manipulation actually keeps it on hold. So, Yeah, he actually had 4 cast techniques at his body, and it is like fully clarified, confirmed later on that he has 4. So we know at one point he had 4, but right now he only has 3. Kenjaku can use reverse cast techniques, so it's hard to imagine he would have used a one-off technique at that moment, which is right now, when he healed his arms. He must have a third curse technique that involves gravity, so we know this. Curse spirit manipulation, curse technique that allows him to transfer body, and gravity. And this is the craziest part, so people ignore this part. I doubt he has a big stockpile of extracted curse techniques. Without an external aid like Okotsu's brain, without an external aid like Okotsu, his brain would burst. And by the way, let me put that up here. Just keep that on this side, so I can actually see. I think the shrine is the brain. That's a pretty interesting theory, actually. Let me zoom in here. So again, she's saying if you don't have an aid, your brain will burst. After saying that though, she thinks he could have 4 curse techniques. She's outright saying, before your brain bursts, you can have 4 curse techniques. And we know Kenjaku at some point had 4. So that's why he can have 4. Hey, appreciate it. Snools the second? I appreciate it too. And by the way, I just remembered, let me, because the thing is off, let me just turn that on as well. Because I turned the notifications off because YouTube is going crazy.
My best friend.
There we go. My best friend. Snools, appreciate the 2. And they say, how do I gift subs? You don't have to. Again, it's not necessary. You don't have to. I appreciate it too as well. Thank you very much. But I've never actually gifted subs, but I think if you hit like the dollar on the bottom right, it'll be like give you options to do stuff. If you can't, it's okay, dude. Seriously, it's completely fine. And like the fact that you didn't even think about that is more than enough. And I appreciate it too. I mean, you gave me too as well. I appreciate it, man. So there's no need to worry. It's okay. If you can't do it, I think some regions can't. It's fine. But thank you again. The thought, that means more than enough. The emoji goes crazy. Yeah, the Gojo one is one of the best ones. Gojo laughing. Tiberius, good to see you as well. I'm gonna be honest, like my favorite one though is the one I use the most is Yuta's. It's just so versatile. I can be used in everything. All right. But yeah, so hopefully that explains why you can have 4 curse techniques. Yuki's confirming it here, because she literally says your brain will burst if you have too many, but she then says he might have 4, and she beforehand, it's actually not moving. What's going on? Let me try and exit. Yeah, here we go. And again, in Shibuya, Kenjaku had 4 at some point. He had 4 at the same time in Shibuya. He had gravity. He didn't remove it, or it would have been gone forever. He had curse spirit manipulation, he had transfer, and he had ideal transfiguration. Even though it's a one-time use, it is on your brain. So you can have 4. Hey, Quirkless, what is good? My guy, good to see you. Watch out, it's reverse psychology. It is not reverse psychology. Some places actually can't. Some regions can't actually donate memberships. So you can't like become a member. I don't know why. I think it's like due to some laws in some countries. But and YouTube like, so again, if you're like in, I don't know, like some countries, you actually can't become a member. And I think I'm just applying that logic to gifting, so I don't think you'd be able to. Which is why I appreciate the thought regardless. Again, appreciate Snools. It's okay, man. I appreciate, like, the thought, that counts more than enough, dude. That is awesome. Like, seriously, thank you very much. Damn, Quirkless, who laughed at when teens got shot his hair. Damn straight. I mean, listen, I'm not saying this is true or not. I'm not saying he said this, but allegedly, his favorite character is Toby Rama. Which, you know, you can do what you will with that information. Crazy stuff. I mean, you know, there's allegations against the Quirkless Shinobi name that he laughed when Rika. I'm laughing because he laughed. So I'm not laughing at Rico. I'm just laughing at him laughing at Rico's death, which is crazy. You know, a wild allegation against his name. You know, what's up, Quirkless? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. But yeah. Oh wow, I just realized it was covered by the big Yuji. Oops, that's kind of my bad. Here we go. Yeah, he used it in Shibuya over here. You know, one-time curse technique with idle transfiguration. So he had 4 at some point. So there we go. And let me go. It was AI Quirkless being the allegations that way. Maybe not Toby Rama. I mean, listen. If they say their favorite characters are Toby Rama is like that is questionable. I'm not even gonna lie though. As a kid, he was actually it's crazy. He was actually one of my favorites as a kid. All right. And Jen is like memes and stuff. Is like he's just one of my. I just thought he was cool, like the war star, because I play the games and I collected the manga as a kid. I really loved collecting the manga. Toby Rama is an actual alligator. Toby Rama is wild though. Toby Rama is wild. Laughing at Rico may have happened. That is insane. I'm just saying, man, laughing at teenagers getting shot in the head. That is, and you did imply. I'm not saying I didn't say this myself. I may have said this, but that's neither here nor there. There's no evidence that I've ever said this, but you may have said, maybe, that you support the Viltrum Empire, space genocide. I'm just saying, allegations go crazy. Don't worry, man. I got worse allegations on mine. Toby, what the hell? Mobius, appreciate the 2. Wait a minute. Appreciate it 2 again. Toby Rama Truthers Rise Up. Kashimo Cash's Rise Up. I appreciate the second one. Kashimo Cash's Rise Up. Kashimo, one of the GOATs. Appreciate that. But Toby Rama Truthers? I don't know, man. This guy is a crazy vendetta. Arguably racism against the Uchiha. I don't think he's a truther. I am not a Toby. I think he's cool. I think he's really cold, and he invented every jutsu known to man. He's pretty much like a plot explanation. How does this jutsu exist? Yeah, Toby Rama probably made it. Like shadow clones, like teleportation. Edo Tensei, like holy shit, man, this guy's like a genius when it comes to creation. Kaio is a Viltrumite sympathizer. I am not denying or confirming that. That's all I'll say. That is all I'll say. It's an allegation. It's out there. But Ashirama number 1, true. Again, Loud Gaming, again, gifted 10, and then a 2 on top of that. My guy, much appreciated. That's awesome, man. Would Kashimo's son burn Gojo to death? Kashimo's son. Kashimo's son. Wait, could you again, just clarify in the chat. You don't need to donate, don't worry. You can just say in the chat, and I'll read it. What do you mean by Kashimo's son? Do you mean like Kashimo's ability? Like his actual transformation? I mean, if we're saying base to base, I'm not gonna lie, he gets his shit wrong. Unfortunately, I would love to say Kashimo was strong. I made all those videos. I got cooked on Twitter. Sunburn, Kashimo sunburn. Oh, sunburn. It's not Sukuna. Oh wait, do you mean Sukuna? Loud Gaming? Like radiation? Oh, maybe. Cause yeah, he does. No, I would actually think you can heal radiation with reverse curse technique because that is a type of poisoning. And we've seen you can heal poisons. I think Gojo at least learned how to do it after the time. Oh, he said he would learn how to do it. So I'm assuming he did because that's when he was 18. So who knows? My best friend. My guy, much appreciated. Again, you didn't need to. You could just say it in the chat, but I appreciate the support. That is sweet. That is very sweet. I appreciate the support. And again, with the 10 gifted and the 10 thingy right now. Much love, Loud Gaming, man. That's a massive W. Massive W for Loud Gaming. Sun burn with ultraviolet rays. Since light rays get through infinity. See, that's the thing, though. I can't remember. It was kind of explained how Gojo, it was either semi-consciously or subconsciously. You could argue, it's debatable on if it's subconscious or semi-consciously. I think it's both. I think he's, doing it to, there's, 3 levels of blocking out the infinity. This is what I personally think. Because there's evidence for this as well. I know just support. That's sweet as fuck, man. Absolute legend, man. If we can, again, get a W for Loud Gaming, that's awesome, man. Much appreciated, man. But, again, so I explained this, a long time ago, in a really, in-depth, in a long video. I can't remember which video it was, from, I think a year ago. But the way it works with Gojo's Infinity is there are, 3 tiers of him actually blocking things out of his Infinity. There's the conscious level, which he does, consciously. There's the semi-conscious, and there's the subconscious, right? I haven't had to rebuild my chromosomes since the Heian Era Sukuna after walking into a reactor core, probably. I mean, that's why I think special grade sorcerers may be able to tank nukes. As long as they can survive the initial explosion. That's debatable. Probably not. You gotta... Could they? I mean, you could argue, could Sukuna survive at just the nukes? I'm not saying radiation. I'm just saying... Let me make a poll about that, actually. Let me make a poll about that. Start poll. It's forget radiation, because I think you can heal radiation of reverse curse technique. Because a nuke is pretty big, right? Could Sukuna survive a nuke? No radiation. Because people might... Okay, let's say yes, he tanks it. No, he dies Lamau. I'll put the Lamau for the Lamau sake. So let me just see what the poll answers. Then I'll answer the Loud Gaming's thing. I haven't forgot about that, don't worry. I just want to see what people think about this first. Honestly, nukes very low. Honestly, nukes 1,000 times stronger than the first nukes. Oh, you mean right now? Yeah, the strongest nukes of today compared to the strongest nukes in history. I swear to God, I didn't even mean to say that as a joke. I'm being serious. or maybe a very low yield. Yeah, I can see that. Because like nukes today are like thousands, like you just said in the chat, like way, hundreds of thousands of times, if not tens of thousands of times stronger than the first nukes that were ever made. So, yeah. No, he dies. Fair enough, to be honest. Like, if we're saying like the strongest nuke of today, compared to like the strongest nukes in history, like the strongest nukes of today would get Sukuna. So nah, he'd win. But hydrogen bomb Gojo. Now Gojo should tank. I mean, okay. Now then comes the question of, I know, given Gojo's explanation of his infinity, because like again, 2 mathematicians did a full like breakdown research. I've like skimmed. I haven't gone through it in depth, but like I've gone over the important parts of it. Gojo's infinity is like a true infinity. There's no amount of energy that you could pour into it that could go past it unless it's a sure hit or an ability that is guaranteed to like bypass a curse technique, which is just domain sure hits. Gojo should be able to tank a nuke just simply because of his infinity. And back to the question that Loud Gaming has. So let me just get it thing and I'll explain what I was about to say before. He says, we asked, sunburn with ultraviolet rays, which is Kashimo, since light rays get through infinity. This is what I tried to say before. There are 3 tiers to infinity, what it can block out, and what Gojo can, like tier 1, the main tier, consciously, what it can choose to block out. Then there's semi-conscious and subconscious, what he can choose to block out. And we've seen examples of all 3 of them. We've seen him like choose to actively block things out, or even, let's say of Haname, actively make his infinity wall bigger to crush his opponents, like of Haname, when he forcefully made it bigger. So that's his like consciously he's controlling the infinity around him, or what comes through and what can't. We've seen, this is what I call like semi, you could argue like these are semi or subconscious, like debating on which one goes into which one. But that was my phone as well. If you thought like a notification just went, that was my phone, don't worry. But for example, when Nobara and Yuji, both in the manga and in the anime, hug Gojo when Gojo says, oh, we're gonna go on a, this is when Nobara was first introduced, and Gojo like tricks them by saying we're gonna go on a trip, like to a nice place, and they think they go and like hug him, or like they start squeezing him, and they're actually touching him. And another example is, like, you could argue the infinity should block that, but it didn't. And another example is also when Yaga was like breaking, like muscling Gojo's back and breaking it, Gojo was probably subconsciously and semi-consciously letting them through. Because we know his infinity is always on, but he can like, maybe in the back of his mind, actually choose what goes in and out. And again, we've seen this when they threw the pen, which was thrown as an attack in the eraser, he could actually choose, we didn't know if it was, I can't remember if it was subconscious or semi-conscious, I can't remember, like, or if it was just like conscious at that time. We saw him actually choose to let them both, I'll get through both these, let me just quickly finish this. But and again, we've seen an example of him semi-consciously, subconsciously not letting things through when he didn't mean it as well. So we've seen like the opposite scenario of the same case. When Gojo actually was getting ready to fight Sukuna, we know that semi-consciously, subconsciously, he all the time lets his students go through. But he was so focused on the fight, or so like hyped up or like intense, because he was very intense, he was so intense for the fight, that normally, what would normally bypass his infinity couldn't actually bypass it. Like Yuji said, you need to take down the infinity. I can't like give you a slap on the back if you don't take it down. So that's an example of it, like semi-consciously. He's not even aware that his infinity was actually blocking out the students, which is something that he normally would allow. Like there's layers to it. So that's why I think it's like how, now this goes back to the question of Loud Gaming. That's why I think when he was fighting Jogo, like normally sound can go through the infinity, but he was able to actually stop these sound attacks because like it was considered an attack in quotes, because he subconsciously or semi-consciously would like deem it as an attack. It actually stopped the sound attacks, and I do believe that in that like scenario, it would actually stop the light going through or attacking him if he determines it, or semi-consciously or subconsciously, even if he's not aware. If it's like deemed as a threat or harmful, it wouldn't bypass the infinity. That is the explanation that I have, and that's why I believe the light rays wouldn't bypass. So if Kashima tried to, like Spider Sense, yeah. Like if Kashima tried to hit him with the waves, like the sound waves wouldn't we've seen sound doesn't bypass the infinity, and we've also seen, we haven't seen this, but I would assume if sound can't go through, because he can choose to not let sound go through. Because again, he could still hear Jogo talk, he could still hear sound, but he didn't let Jogo's sound attack go through. I imagine he could do the same with light if it does have that depth, and we've seen it, it's very complicated ability. So I hope that answers the question of why I think the light wouldn't actually go through, but all light normally would though. If it's like an attack, harmful light, it shouldn't. Again, appreciate the 10 Loud Gaming. And Mobius, appreciate the 5. The Alaskan Bullworm versus, what is the Alaskan Bullworm? It's like the worm from SpongeBob? What the hell is the, let me search this up. Alaskan Bullworm. Let me actually search this up. The Alaskan Bullworm. It is! I just guessed. I guess there's the one from SpongeBob. Versus the merger? I mean, listen, SpongeBob has Toon Force, and that was actually damaging... The worm was actually a threat to him, and it's like one SpongeBob could solo Goku. So I'm just saying, if the worm scales to Goku, he's got Toon Force, it might be the merger, that's all I'll say. Appreciate the 5 Mobius, much appreciate my guy, always appreciate you around. And Experimental Channel, interesting name, donated 10 and says, my theory is... Oh, here we go, actually, let me get it right. My theory is that, tied to what Todo said in Goodwill, when hitting a Black Flash, you get your cursed energy returned to you, and you understand it. Here we go. And as Yuji has reverse curse technique, blood manipulation, and the cursed wounds, and it kind of ends there. But let me read it properly though. My theory is that what's tied to the total visual, hitting a Black Flash, you get cursed energy returned to you, and you understand it. I actually kind of broke this down. I don't know if you missed that part of the stream. I talked about earlier on. Oh, I think this. You donated another 10. I appreciate it. I think this is to fully explain what you're going to break down, because I have like 2 messages. So I'll continue. Again, I appreciate the 20. Damn, much appreciated, my guy. That's awesome. Thank you very much for the support. So, continuing from what you said last time. So, again, blood manipulation, reverse cursing, Gojo's level, and the curse rooms. As he has those traits, curse technique, and the soul technique, what I think is that now it will return to him and he will gain full control over blood manipulation, reverse cursing, and Gojo's level, and curse rooms priorities. I completely agree, but for a slightly different reasoning. So, Experimental Channel, I would actually recommend going back to the stream. By the way, I'll explain it now for you again. I'll go because Dan, you donated 20. I'll break it down in depth for you again. But if you want like a full 20-minute breakdown, in the beginning of the stream, I would say until the 24-minute mark, I actually go over every single page of that Todo mark in Goodwill. Like when Todo's explaining it, I actually break it down in full depth and why I actually agree with you. Why I think that's going to lead to a blood manipulation and his Sukuna's curse technique awakening. So we're actually on the same lines. I would actually recommend doing that, but again, you gave me 20, and also because I'm assuming some people who are watching now weren't there for the beginning of the stream when I broke it down, I'll re-break it down for you guys. So it was chapter 49. So in 48 he hits the Black Flash. If you confuse what's going on, I'll show on the screen as well. Just give me a second. 48, just remember this, he hits a Black Flash, double page spread, and 49 takes place as soon as he's hit a Black Flash. So this is right after he's hit a Black Flash. And I'll kind of speed through it in case people have just seen the beginning of the stream, but I'll explain it properly as well though. Let me show my screen. So over here, big monitor, here we go, and also a Heian Yuji because he's blocking it as well. Hey Rishabh, good to see you, my guy, good to see you. Channel OG, how you doing? I'm doing well though. What's good? Doing well, thank you. Alright, I hope you're doing well too, let me know. Here we go, so this is what he's explaining, and this is what I was talking about in the beginning of the stream. And I'll break it down for you guys in case you missed that, but I'll do it quickly as well because I've done it before. That was Black Flash. So Yuji hit a Black Flash, and he's in such shock, and he's gotten such a power up after hitting a Black Flash that he literally thinks, what? This is my cursed energy. He is so astonished. He is so taken aback, and he is so awestruck by his own cursed energy, by how much stronger it is. Like, the surprise is so much that he can't even recognize it as his own. He's like thinking, is this my cursed energy? Because after he hit Black Flash, he awakened, and again, the narrator did say in chapter 130 that Mahito had awakened after hitting a Black Flash. The wording is there, and the explanation is here as well. And he says, you got to taste a sample of your cursed energy. Until now, it's like you've been... let me read this properly. Until now, it's like you've been putting ingredients you're not familiar with into a pot and cooking haphazardly. I gotta lock in when I read. I gotta properly focus. But with a Black Flash, you've gained the ingredient that is cursed energy. And as a chef, or in this case, a Jujutsu sorcerer, you're on a completely different level. He says a different level, sorry. You're on a different level than you were just 3 seconds ago. Congratulations, Budaza. You will be strong. So basically, in this scenario, you're doing good. Good to hear you, man. Good to hear you. Kaya's like a teacher. Yeah, I kind of sound like a teacher, don't I? Damn. In this case, the ingredient is cursed energy. I kind of... Again, I've explained this earlier in the stream. I kind of think this is not worded correctly. Maybe he's the Viz is worded poorly. But what's going on is Yuji's always had the ingredient of cursed energy, right? He said it's your ingredient, like this. In this case, the ingredient is cursed energy. He's always had it, but he's never been able to cook it. He's not familiar with the ingredient, and he's been cooking haphazardly. But after he's hit a Black Flash, I think what it's trying to say is that he's gained the ability to actually use it properly as a chef. I think that's what it's saying. But regardless, it literally doesn't make a difference to what I'm explaining. It makes no difference. But just so you understand what I'm trying to say better, I'm trying to show you like maybe a different interpretation of it. And again, this is usually, again, I've explained, like, this is usually only the case after you hit a Black Flash for the first time. You awaken. After you hit Black Flashes after the first time, you never reawaken. This is only the case when you've hit it for a first time. And usually after you, like, when you hit second or third or fourth Black Flash, or even later on, like in the future you hit a Black Flash, you never reawaken. What tends to happen is maybe you'll get like a minor power-up, like a very minor one, never the same as the first one, but what you'll always guaranteed get is a 120% buff to your potential. Like, you'll get that 120% buff. 120% Kyle versus Sukuna. But anyway, yeah, what I was saying was, usually it's the first time. Only the first time will you awaken, and, you know, second, third, fourth, it'll just be like temporarily boosted to 120% potential or a minor buff. But why am I, and also let me make sure I get the experimental channel, interesting name. Why are we both saying, you know, he's gonna reawaken, or no, his awakening in the new chapter is what's happened here? Why is he getting two? Again, you would argue, and it would make sense, like, he's hit many Black Flashes after he hit his first one. Like, why is it only he's awakening now, and he didn't awaken in Shibuya when he hit it for a second time? The reason is because he has new ingredients. Like, again, as we were both talking about, like I talked about earlier in the stream, Experimental Channel was talking about in the donation, he has never hit a Black Flash with the current ingredients that he has. His current ingredients are, again, in this case, Cursed Energy can be an ingredient, but now he has like Sukuna's Cursed Energy, which is said by Shoko and Yuji himself, that he's got so much of Sukuna's Cursed Energy right now that he's actually like a Sukuna finger or a Sukuna Cursed object. He's just like them. And that is currently an ingredient he has right now that he's never had before he's hit Black Flash, and the same goes with Blood Manipulation. And I want to, like, seriously, replace Blood Manipulation in this scenario with Cursed Energy as an ingredient, and it perfectly aligns with what just happened in the new chapter. Until now, it's like he's been putting ingredients, which is Blood Manipulation or Sukuna's Cursed Energy, he's not familiar with, because he's clearly not familiar with Blood Manipulation. I mean, he can't use Convergence. Like, seriously, even Kamo, a semi-grade 1, can use Convergence. Yuji is so unfamiliar with it that he's, again, as Choso said, he's so like, he can't use it effectively. He can't build up Convergence. So in the new chapter, Choso had to build up Convergence, give it to him, so Choso could actually use that to fire off a Black Flash. Simply because he's not familiar with it, because he can't use it effectively. But after, like, now that he's had it as an ingredient, he's hit a Black Flash. Now, he should be able to use the ingredient that he's not familiar with, because now he's awakened, as literally the narrator said, Mahito awakened before, and Yuji's awakened here, and it's going to be a second awakening, that he'll be able to use it properly. And, again, we saw, in mere seconds after hitting a Black Flash and awakening for the first time, he got so much stronger that he can't recognize his own Cursed Energy. He's looking down and, like, the anime in this moment is really cool, and it makes it much more clear. Like, it makes it way better as well. The anime is, like, fantastic. And manga's great as well, but anime did a good job here. Yuji looking down, which visually has increased a lot. Like, and he's saying to us, like, is this even my Cursed Energy? Like, holy damn, it's so much. Like, that's what he's literally thinking as he's looking down in astonishment. And Toto confirming what I just said, you are on a different level than you were just 3 seconds ago. So that's why when you hit a Black Flash and you learn how to use things that you didn't know how to use before, because you basically awaken your potential, which again, I'll show you now, was said by Mahito, the narrator, that Mahito awakened his potential after hitting a Black Flash for the first time. It's why, now that he's assumedly hit a Black Flash for the first time while having Blood Manipulation and Sukuna's Cursed Energy, because as far as we know, he didn't hit a Black Flash over the time. I mean, maybe he did in training and this theory is all wrong, but, you know, usually it's more so in the heat of the battle when you hit a Black Flash. That's usually the only times you can use it. We've never seen anyone hit one in training. If you can hit one in training, Gojo would have broken the record already, you know, so it seems like it's something, again, as Gojo said, it depends on your physical condition, it depends on your opponent's Cursed Energy, it depends on a lot of things, and it does seem like it depends on actually being in combat as well. So this is the first time he's hit Black Flash with these ingredients that he doesn't know how to use before. It's why he's awakening now for a second time. That's why it's his second awakening when the other Black Flashes couldn't have been, because he didn't have Blood Manipulation or Sukuna's Cursed Energy at the time. And again, it's very interesting how the wording is the exact same. You know, let me explain it here. The realization of an innate domain plus the activation of a cursed technique. That this was the two-step process was combined into one. A sublimely fast maneuver managed by Mahito, who was awakened through Black Flash. Interesting. This is exactly what happened to Yuji in the new chapter. And it's what happened to him in the, in Goodwill, when he hit Black Flash for the first time, and this was Mahito's first time hitting a Black Flash too. You awaken after you hit it for the first time, and for Yuji, even though it's not his first time, it's his first time hitting it with new ingredients. So, There we go. Kaio's cooking for shit. The Blood Demon Gojo's Awakening. I'm just saying, man, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely wild. And again, also, by the way, there is only 10 minutes left for the stream. And I'm actually having, like, I think this is a good stream because we're actually breaking down a lot of things in depth. And I would actually love to break down more. There's a lot more I want to, especially, you know what? I'm going to try speed through this. Let me hide in one and bring up the Sukuna stuff right now. So I'll try like speed through it because there's lack of time. The reason being is because I have to go in 10 minutes to break my fast. But don't worry, for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to do as much, I'm going to put down as much information as I can right now. Because there's a lot I still haven't gotten into. Because the main thing I want to touch upon is Sukuna. I know Yuji's Awakening is getting hyped up right now. But, God, there is a lot from Sukuna right now. Let me get the panels Sukuna over here. Actually, you know what? It's better if I go to Twitter because I posted it there as well. Like, I've actually put all the panels I need there. Because, again, Sukuna still has not used his full power. So, the Viz kind of mistakenly, I wouldn't say mistakenly, it's not like it's wrong, but it's not the best translation in the world. And it does, like, sort of hinder the actual meaning of what's going on. The Viz just says, when Urume says, like, Sukuna's not going all out, and the Viz it says Sukuna's not going seriously. I think the better translation is what it actually says in the Japanese, which is what Urume says, which is Sukuna is not using his full power, and the TCB does like, it's actually kind of lagging. I don't know if you can like hear the notification lagging. It's actually lagging for me as well. It's my laptop. My laptop's like suffering. I got so many tabs open. I got like all these things. I'm trying to like load up Twitter. My laptop's like dying. It's like goddamn. But yeah, in the TCB, as I was saying, the yeah, it's a much better translation for what Gojo was saying. Let me for what Urume was saying, because they said Sukuna-sama is not going all out. Let me just get that up right now for you, and then once I get up, I'll show on the screen as well. Just trying to find it because I posted this on Twitter before. Here we go, found it. And there were many other statements after Sukuna had used his transformation that Sukuna is still holding back. So again, I'll explain this all in much more depth and kind of break it down in a nicer, more neater way in tomorrow's video. Like everything I'm saying, it'll be in tomorrow's video, but like in a much nicer format. So don't worry about missing out now. Like it'll be said in tomorrow's video, so you can check that out. But I'll explain it here, sort of like as quick as I can. Let me show my monitor now. Here we go. So it has been said multiple times that Sukuna's holding back. Like right here, Sukuna didn't even go all out. And then Kusakabe says, what's creepy is he isn't even using the fire like he was in Shibuya. He is saying he's holding back, and he theorizes like, oh, maybe like conditions or binding vow. Like we don't even know. Like he's just like throwing random guesses out there. So we don't actually know. But he knows he's holding back for some reason. Gojo reconfirming Sukuna wasn't able to give it his all. And finally here, Sukuna-sama has yet to go all out. It has been said 4 times that Sukuna's holding back. And for a reason. It's been saying this for 20 chapters, so I do believe, and we know logically, like through our own logic, we've seen him in Shibuya use open, right? He opened up his black box, he blew out flames, and he hasn't done that yet. The reason I think Gojo knows that he's holding back is probably with his 6 eyes, because we know with his 6 eyes he can instantly see curse techniques and recognize them. He probably saw Sukuna's curse technique. Maybe he was waiting for him to use it, but saw Sukuna never used it, and that's how he knows Sukuna was never giving it his all. The reason I say this is because this actually makes sense on why he would know Sukuna's holding back compared to him holding back the transformation. Gojo wouldn't know about the transformation. He wouldn't know about that. So a lot of people, and even myself, actually I was like a big culprit of this, assumed Sukuna didn't even go all out, or Sukuna's holding back was referring to him transforming, but with new evidence, again, reconfirmed by him seeing Miguel with his eyes. He confirms with his eyes, I know everything about your curse technique, instantly seeing it. Him knowing Sukuna's not going all out, but him, it makes so much more sense, like within the verse and Gojo's 6 eyes, that he knows that he's not going all out because his 6 eyes can see Sukuna's curse technique, and he knows after he died, Sukuna never had to use it. That makes more sense than the transformation. And narratively, it makes sense that it's not the transformation, because if it was the transformation, the Sukuna going all out, exactly what Urume is, exactly, word for word what Urume is saying here. And he even says, again, in the same chapter, that Sukuna's holding back, he wasn't giving his all. The fact that it's still being said, narratively, after Sukuna's transformed, is almost pretty much confirming that this isn't what Sukuna was holding back. That's what I assumed at the time, but it seems like there's more to what Sukuna has than even the transformation. Probably what's going on is like the transformation is just one of the many things that he was holding back. That's probably what's going on. Like, because with his 6 eyes, what he's very likely seeing is what Urume knows Sukuna's true curse technique, whatever that is. You know, he opened the black box and he fired the flames at Jogo and Mahoraga. And again, Kusakabe theorizes that there's a condition for it. I kind of, in the tweet, and gets shown that bottom part, but he theorized like maybe there's a condition or a binding vow, which you can't use it now. But that's the thing though. We saw in Shibuya when he actually used it, it didn't seem like there were any conditions or binding vow. He pulled it out like just casually against Gojo, and he quite literally pulled it out during a domain expansion against Mahoraga. That, like, in any scenario, whether you think it's curse technique burnout, which is even crazy if he brought it out during that time, or if you think he brought out during the domain expansion, which is what the anime is implying, because in the manga it's not as clear, but in the anime, he's right away, he's using it while the domain is active. So, regardless, like, if you can do that during a domain activation, I don't know why I was, like, butchering that, or he can do it, you know, with no domain. I mean, he clearly did it against Jogo casually, like, just brought out, no conditions, nothing. And he even didn't reveal his curse technique. You know what I mean? Like, he's holding back so much, and that's just what we know of the flames. Like, that's the open. For all we know, there's more than the flames. Like, there could be so much more to it. You know, you could argue, maybe it's Yuji's technique, the flames is Yuji's technique, that, this, that, and the other. Like, that's a nice theory as well, but we'll see. Like, again, the fact that Kusakabe is currently saying why isn't he using the fire. We saw a fan art. I really don't remember where this art was. Not fan art, sorry. Official art. It was from like an exhibition or something. If someone, by the way, if you can like link me this art, because I can't find it. But a couple months ago, like official art of Sukuna came out from the Heian era. So this is Sukuna with both his Hiten and his Kamutoki, and in one of the hands he had flames. So if that exhibition art, which is official art, is to be taken as canon, then Sukuna had flames in the Heian era. So, you know, there's a lot that goes into it, you know? Yeah, Sukuna, that's what I mean, though. Like, even though Yuji will awaken, and I think, I should end the poll as well. I just realized the poll is, thingy. And I think he's going to kick Sukuna's ass for a chapter or two. I think when Sukuna goes all out, he's going to kill Yuji. You know? Sukuna, show his output of curse technique was at 10. Now he's at half of the exponential buff for the fingers. Oh, you guys, you must be talking to someone else, like, talking about the whole thing is scaling. I think Sukuna, hey, Morningstar, good to see you. I think Sukuna is starting to ramp up his engine, the Black Flash, and Yuji's growth might finally get him riled up. That's what I think as well, because Choso uses the wording as Sukuna is starting to get excited, he's starting to like get in the zone, ramp up, like these wordings is what Choso is saying, depending on which translation you saw. Yuji's like lowering his output, but man, I don't know. If Sukuna, like, if Yuji finally excites him enough or is strong enough to force Sukuna to go all out, like, that would be insane. Like, we get to see, like, flames, maybe he has, like, ice, fire, whatever else is in the bottom. We don't know what's in there. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. You notice there's a dedicated Black Flash wind-up pose? Yeah, there is, right? Like, how when Yuji cocks back his fist, Sukuna, twice, when he does it with, what's his name? Actually, both times in Maki, like, cocks it back in the same pose. Yuji, like, he cocks it back like that, against, I think he did it against Haname. He does it against Mahito twice, and he does it again in chapter 256. I don't think that's... also, what's up, Everdy? Good to see you. I think that's less of like a pose, and it's more so like an how do I say this? A stylistic choice from Gege, which he usually does. Like, there's a lot of paneling that he always goes for a lot of the time. Like, he always goes for similar paneling, and sort of like art directions, and I think that's just one that he usually uses when someone's like cocking back a fist and charging it up. But yeah. By the way, that should be at the end of the stream. I do have to go in 2 minutes. Again, experimental channel, Loud Gaming. Like, again, I appreciate you guys for the donations and also the gifted subs from Loud Gaming. Much appreciated. And everyone else who donated, you know, it's much appreciated. Thank you guys very much. I hope you guys didn't do this stream. I really wish I could go for another hour or two, but I gotta go break the fast. Final day of Ramadan, thankfully. You know, anyone who's fasting as well, hope it went well, or if you haven't broken it yet, hope it goes well. And I hope your Eids are good tomorrow. I hope anyone who's celebrating Eid, it's good. And if not, if you don't celebrate Eid, I just hope it's a great day. You know, if it's just another day for you, I hope tomorrow's a fantastic day for you. And I hope you're all doing well. I think that's the most important part. Thank you very much, everyone who came by the stream, whether you're chatting or just watching. It's much appreciated. Thank you guys, seriously. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, I gotta go. Yeah, Loud Gaming, appreciate it. Tashimo, Morningstar, Experimental, Mr. 60, Night Terrace, Calamity, Briella, sorry for mispronouncing it. Maya's, Nobody, Rishab, everyone is here. Much appreciated, guys. That's all from me. Take care. Take care, guys.